In today's episode of Art of Making, Zhetygen, an ancient 7-strings instrument with a sad story. Keste, a traditional art of embroidery. How Turkic headdresses conquered modern fashion. Yerzhigit Aliyev is multi-instrumentalist, a member of the Turan and Steppe songs ensembles, and he also tunes and tests musical instruments. Now Yerzhigit is in the workshop where he will tune the newly created Zhetygen.
Zhetygen аспабы бұл түркітілдес халықтарында тек түркітілдес емес.
Zhetygen is an instrument often found in the culture of many Turkic peoples, as well as in China. Like dobra, it was very popular, but at some point people began to forget about it. But now the interest in it is reviving.
Қайтадан міне даму үстінде келе жатқан аспаптардың бірі. Енді Zhetygen аспабының Zhetygen деп аталуы.
Zhetygen is originally a 7-string instrument. There are several versions about the origin of the name. According to one of them, the old man once had 7 sons, but all of them, one after another, passed away. It was a time of terrible hunger and poverty. Having lost all his sons, the old man relapsed into sadness.
Сонда бұл қария әр баласын сағынып отырып,
and then he came up with an idea of creating something to preserve the memory of his children. This is how the 7-string instrument Zhetygen was born.
Бұл дамыған аспап дейік. Ал ең алғашқы үлгілерінде
where each string symbolized the son of the elder. In the old days, strings were made from horsehair. Now they are made of metal.
Жеті шек қойып, жеті асық қойып, осындай Zhetygen аспабы өмірге дүниеге келген екен.
To find out how modern Zhetygen is made, we go to the workshop of Jibek who will reveal us the secrets of making this instrument.
Бұл Zhetygen аспабы, екі шанағы дейміз,
These are the side parts of the instrument. We use oak for these parts.
Екі жаны болады.
And these 2 planks are also the future sides of the Zhetygen. One of them will have pegs. Here a lot depends on the quality of the wood. It's also important how the plank's layers assemble. This affects the strength and protects against cracks. Well, now we need to adjust them a little.
Бұның жасалу үрдісі де өте қиын.
It's not so easy to customize the instrument to play it properly. I consider it a great art.
Оның өзі бір машақат десек болады.
2 parts of the instrument are polished. Now the shape is drawn. Then all this is sent for trimming. As you can see, this is the basis of the Zhetygen. All parts are assembled. Now we'll glue the front of the instrument and then the bottom. I've already made blanks. In the body of Zhetygen, it's both sides, the face plate and the bottom are ready. We glue all parts together. We glue all parts of the instrument. Then we tighten it with a rubber harness until it dries. It will take about 4 hours for it to completely dry.
Қазіргі таңда бұл аспаппен
On Zhetygen, you can perform any works, including classical ones.
жалпы профессионал
On the professional stage, many ensembles and ethnic bands play it. The instrument is very popular.
ансамбльде көп қолданылатын аспаптың бірі.
After drying, the instrument needs to be painted. Very often it's painted in yellow-brown shades, but this is not fundamental. Any color can be used.
Кепкеннен кейін жаңа орнаментная
After drying the paint, an ornament is applied on this side parts on front surface.
басына жапсырылады.
Then we polish it again, and then we cover it with varnish.
Міне менің қолымда тұрған бұл 23 шекті жетіген аспабы, иә. Және де дәл осындай
I have an instrument in my hands that has 23 strings.
бір шекті жетіген
There are instruments with 21 strings. They're smaller than this in size and weight.
салмағы да жеңілдірек болады. Жалпы одан бөлек мынау бетте тұрған жетіген байқасаңыздар шетінде мынандай жерінде темір жаңағы
And there is, for example, such an instrument. Here see a metal piece resembling a mouthpiece that allows you to adjust the strings.
мамандардың сұранысы
Such
бойынша
instruments are made by special order of professional musicians.
енді бұл жетіген аспабы домбыра сияқты жаңағы кез келген
Zhetygen, like dombra, needs to be tuned before you can play on it.
дыбысқа келтіріп қойдыңыз. Сол мелодияның
For example, if you tune the instrument to a certain key, you will no longer be able to perform a work in another key. For this, you need to retune it. This metal part helps professionals change the key of the instrument during performance.
жаңағы мысалы ойнап отырып жарты тонға көтеру, түсіру. Енді ол жаңағы кәсіби түрдегі ойнап жүрген мамандар түсінеді.
Zhetygen, which Dusenbek Dilmanov is making now, has 21 strings. After painting and varnishing, he will install its specs and tightens the strings. How difficult is it to master this instrument, we asked the musician Yerzhigit Aliyev.
Саусақтың жағына еттері қатты ауырады. Одан
When playing it, the main load is on the fingertips. I can't say that it's easy to master it, but if you want, you can learn to play any instrument.
кез келген аспапты үйренуге болады.
Now the craftsman installs the substrings. All you have to do is customize the instrument.
Үнінің өзінде бір ғажап, бір ерекше бір дыбыстар бар.
The instrument has magical, unparalleled sounds. You can perform composition of any genre. Seeing the instrument for the first time, you wonder how to play it and where and how the notes are located. This interest has become for me the driving force in the development of Zhetygen.
Алып шықтық.
The couple Zeinelkhan and Gulzhay revived the once forgotten Kazakh traditional art of embroidery, keste. Introducing their vision into the folk craft, they fill the canvas space with colorful and unique symbols.
30-дан астам жыл айланысып келе жатырмын. Бұның енді ерекшелігі бұл бізге
I've been doing this art for over 30 years. For many centuries, keste embroidery took a special place in Kazakh's life. From clothing decoration to your decor.
ішкі жабдықтарын 30 жыл бұрын үйреніп кәдімгіше.
In the 90s, I tried to embroider one image and I did it well. And then I decided to do it.
Орындап көрген едім. Сол бірінші жұмыстан сәтті шығып, сонымен сол осы кесте өнерімен тұрақты түрде айналыстым. Ұмытылған өнердің бірі.
This keste is one of the forgotten types of art, but I can say that it took me a lot of efforts to revive it.
Қосқан жағдайым бар.
Now I will go to Gulzhay's workshop to see how the decorative pillow is made in the keste technique.
Бізге керектісі көлемі мынандай 50-50 созылмайтын мата.
We need two fabrics of 50 by 50 and 30 by 30 centimeters.
Созылмайтын. Оның өлшемі 30-30, осында екі түрді матаны таңдап аламыз.
A pattern or ornament will be placed on the basis.
Сарматаға суретін ойымызды таңдаймыз. Ойатын сарматамыздың
The fabric base where the ornament will be placed is ironed from the back side through the paper.
Басылып болғаннан кейін енді
After the ironing, the pattern is applied to the canvas. Next, an adhesive net is used to secure the ornament, which is ironed through the paper for 15-20 seconds. Then the craftswoman begins to trim the ornament.
Оюдың ішкі сырты деген екі бөлігі болады.
From the cut ornament, an internal and external pattern is obtained. One of them will be the front part, and the other will cover the pillow.
Сонда мынау екі жастықтың беті шығады деген сөз.
Then it's necessary to find the center by folding the tissue 4 times. Mark the middle. After that, the ornament is centered. Having completed the placing of the ornament, it must be ironed through the gauze again so that it's firmly fixed on the basis. At the next stage, the fabric base is tightly pulled on the embroidery hoops so that its seam lies exactly along the contour of the pattern. The edges of the ornament are embroidered using a hook and thread with chain seams. The hook with the thread is removed from the front side, holding the working thread, pulled out to the bottom, and there is a loop. The hook is inserted again, holding the thread pulled onto the inside, but already through the loop on the hook, and so we continue to embroider. This embroidery method forms a stitch on the back side of the seam, and on the front side it consists of loops. Embroidering with such a seam is quite simple, but in order to diversify and decorate the work, embroiderers use convex, zigzag-shaped, two-colored and feather stitches. We must say that they look amazing, emphasizing the splendor of every stitch. At the moment, I use the zigzag technique to fix the edges of the pattern. Decorating in this way will not allow the edges of the ornament to disperse, and our product will look beautiful. Today, keste embroidery is used very widely. It can be seen in clothes decor, in the decoration of blankets, wall panels, decorative mats, tapestries on napkins and tablecloths, in the decoration of curtains and pillows. It performs the design of contours and other types of embroidery, filling the entire canvas only with keste. While the craftsman is collecting the stitches together and fixing them into elegant interweaves, we will return to the work of the artist Zeinelkhan Muhamedjanova.
Мына кесте туралы білмейтін адамдар ойлайды бір керемет үлкен техника, бір механизм.
The embroidery technique itself is very simple. Many believe that keste is carried out using equipment or a machine.
Кішкентай қармағы бар, кішкентай.
In fact, a knitting hook, threads, and cloth are enough. Thanks to this, such works are created.
Осының арқасында осындай дүниелер жасауға болады.
Zeinelkhan believes that keste embroidery has many unsolved opportunities. He wants to embody and bring this type of applied art to a new professional level. Many of the author's works reflect national folklore. Embroidered drawings are interesting with their special decorative language of symbolism, whose deep meaning is taken from the history and mythology of Kazakh people. Art really does wonders. For example, it takes us again to a talented craftswoman who unites the revival of the forgotten craft of ancestors in space and time.
Енді мына жаңағы ойымыздың шеттерін жиектеп біттім.
Embroidery with basic chain seams is finished. Earl curl is sewn with red and white threads. And as you can see, the ornament began to stand out, both on a yellow background and on a brown basis.
Айланып тігіп шықтық. Жастықшамыздың беті сәнді көріну үшін
In order to make the pillow look elegant and complete, it's necessary to stitch the edges of the two parts with a binding tape. A zipper is sewn on the back of the pillowcase.
Енді міне машинкамен айландырып,
The
жастығымыз
pillowcase sewn on a sewing machine looks like this.
Енді мына жастығымыздың ішіне ішкі дорба
It must now be filled with synthepone or cotton wool.
жастығымызды томпитіп шығарамыз. Жастықшамыз
Now our pillow is ready. It looks beautiful and elegant. Pattern sewing looks amazing on a pillow. Having inherited the secrets of embroidery from her grandmother and mother, Gulzhay attaches importance to every detail, embodying beauty and revealing to us an amazing world hidden in ornaments, lines, symbols. And despite its long history, 1,000 years long, keste continues its life. It grows, turning from folk needlework into high-level artistic creativity. The fascinating meeting with the couple left pleasant experience and bright feelings. I believe that soon another story will revive in their hands and we will go on a trip in search of new experiences. The true art lovers have a spiritual connection that leads to creative friendship. This friendship both inspires and allows new, more interesting ideas to be born, says designer Nazgul. So the creative union of designers Nazgul Zhamal and Moldir Aldazharova has developed. When Nazgul comes up with new ideas, she hurries to share them with Moldir.
Екеуміз бұрыннан бірігіп, оқу барысында да бірігіп жұмыс істеуді ұнататынбыз.
We've always been interested in working together.
Бірдей болатын, сондықтан да.
We often had the same ideas and designs, and we decided to work in tandem.
Көптеген жобаларды бірге іске асырып келе жатырмыз.
Designers create headdresses. They focus on the national color. For this, we had to immerse ourselves in the study of the history, culture, and customs of Kazakh people, says Nazgul. Back in ancient times, artisans had high standards. They had to have not only a high level of skill, but also an internal culture, taste, and deep knowledge of folk art.
Қазақ қоғамында бас киімдердің орны ерекше.
Headdresses occupy a special place in the culture of Kazakh people. They were often presented as gift to special guests.
Естісек болады.
There were also beliefs associated with them. For example, you could not wear someone else's headdress. It was believed that in this way, you take happiness and luck from the owner. There are a lot of proverbs and folklore related to it, which once again confirms the special attitude of Kazakhs to the headdress.
Өзіңнің бас киіміңді жаңағы басқаларға бермеген. қазақ дәстүрінің ұлттық бас киімдері өзі өте әдемі.
The national headdress of the Kazakhs is bright and beautiful.
Осы біздің дипломдық жұмысымызды алып қарасақ та, соның ішінде
I devoted my thesis to this part of the wardrobe. Studying history, Moldir and I were so carried away that we decided to create them.
өте қызықтық. Біздің ұлттық бас киімдеріміздің ерекшелігі ондағы.
Of course, we create headdresses according to modern technologies.
Біздің басты ерекшелігіміз деп айтсақ болады.
Art is the main component of human aesthetic and spiritual education, although ordinary things can be a real work of art. For example, the Saukeli headdress occupies a special place in the culture of Kazakh people. It's not just the bride's hat, it's the thing with a sacred meaning.
Saukeli'нің ең бірінші
We create a sketch of the future Saukeli, taking into account the wishes of the future owner. We're sure to specify the color and what stones she wants to decorate the headdress with. Then, using measurements, we create a pattern. The template of Saukeli consists of 3 parts. First, we cut them out and then connect them, sewing them on the machine. The Saukeli has a conic shape. Silver, pearls, and gold sewing were often used for its decoration. The height of the headdress reached 70 centimeters. The best fabrics were traditionally used to produce Saukeli.
Материал таңдауда
When choosing a fabric, we rely on the wishes of the customer. Velvet and velour are the most common used fabrics for Saukeli production. They are very beautiful, and we think that it's a right choice. And if we talk about stones, then most often large and bright stones are used, the brilliance of which is hard to miss.
Тастардан болу керек және жалтырлаған. Тақияда аксессуарлардың түрі.
Headdress is an important accessory that is divided into women's, men's, and children's. The headdress we're making right now is for women, and it's more suited for the stage. According to the design technique, it looks like Saukeli. However, its height is not the same as that of the Saukeli and consists of 2 parts. First, we create the base, then we wrap it around, decorate it with patterns and ornaments. The top is often decorated with feathers, but you don't have to do that. Headdress such as Saukeli is not intended for everyday wear. In modern society, they can be seen at the weddings or as part of a stage costume.
Saukeli'ні жалпы күнделікті қолдануға келмейді.
As for men's headdress, now I often see men wearing such a hat, takiya. For example, if it's sewn from a simple dark-colored fabric, then it will look very nice.
Тақияны жаңа бір материалда шығаратын болсақ, оны киюге әбден мүмкін деп ойлаймын.
Working on the creation of national headdress, preserving ethnic color, young designers make their great contribution to the revival and promotion of national culture.
Алдағы уақытта осы өнерімізді әрі қарай жандандыру.
We want to contribute to folk art, but also don't want to limit ourselves only to headdresses.
Болашақта көптеген жоспарлар.
We're thinking about creating modern accessories, bags, and jewelry. We have big creative plans.
Өзіміздің үлесімізді қосу